show them we can rise from ash. Jade, Lavender, and Scarlett, Feinics power. Together we will rise. They tried to burn us, we bloom like a flower. They didn't know we had a Phoenix's power. Phoenix power.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jade Feinics here, and I am joined by my evil partner in crime, my baby bat, my gothic sidekick, Scarlett!
What is up, spooky bitches and spooky bros and spooky non-binary hoes?
That's right. Yep. Our Lavender is currently on a trip.
Yes.
She's flown the nest to the other side. She's flown to warmer pastures for this week,
I love that for her.
and I'm so sorry that you guys missed us last week.
It's
But
okay. We were away also.
Oh my God! It was we have traveled to the to our annual spawning ground.
What did I say to Lavender when she first saw it? I think I said, "Hey Alice, welcome to Wonderland."
Yes, you did.
Yep.
Yes, you did. It was
Yes.
fantastic. So you guys, for those not in the know, we were at MagFest.
Oh yeah.
We were at MagFest, which happens 3 weeks before Katsu now, apparently.
Yeah, 3 weeks before Katsu. I've been to both, and I'm going to tell you, 2 years running, because this is actually, I've been to both 2 times. MagFest is better. It's so much more
I'm about to make a
fun.
name for myself here.
It's so much more fun. It's
really
actually
is.
24 hours. They don't kick you out of the gazebo area
There's
because
no
they do at
elitism.
Katsu. Yeah, there's no elitism, and honestly, like the meme cosplays at MagFest are so much funnier.
And everybody just seems to be having so much more of a good time.
Honestly, yeah.
But we're not going to talk about Mag. We're
That's
just
okay.
we
next
will
time.
be talking about Mag when Lavender comes back,
yes, because Lavender needs to weigh in.
because it's her first. It was her first. It
We
was
popped that cherry.
we took her Mag virginity.
yes,
It was my third, your second,
yes.
but her first.
3, 2, 1, baby.
That's right. So for that episode, you will need to tune in because this will be coming to you first week of February.
Yes.
So this episode is just me, just Scarlett, and we're gonna be talking about spooky shit.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Well, kind of spooky.
is it technically, is it spooky, or is it more something that's near and dear to both our hearts because it is something that you and I do a lot?
So let's put it like this.
Yeah.
To the outside perspective.
Yeah.
It's spooky. But to us, it is, just near and
Just
dear to our heart because
Everyday wear.
yeah. But it's spooky by comparison to normal people shit,
For us, it's literally, okay, so layman's terms, most normal human beings, or should I say vanilla human beings, when they decide to go out, where would they go, Scarlett? They would go to a bar.
Yeah, like a dive bar, I guess. Or
They go to
like
a bar, they go to a club.
The club.
You're
asking the wrong person. I don't go to normal people places.
well, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Because I've done both, so.
Yes.
It is what it is. But like the normal lay person would go to a popular club, a bar. They're gonna go to just their spots. That's where they're
Right.
gonna go. But you and me are the kind of people that we're not gonna go to. I mean, we can and we have frequented these spots.
Right. But we tend to find places that are, even if they're not dedicated to our kind, they tend to be, how do you say, like, they tend to be populated by people like us.
Close to it.
Close to it.
Like adjacent.
right.
So
Like,
for those of you that haven't figured it out already, we're talking about goth clubs.
yes.
We're talking about goth parties. We're talking about primarily the children of the night, the vampires, the darker emos, the metalheads, the
Yes.
goth, whatever flavor goth that you are, whether you're Victorian,
Romantic, which is kind of Victorian, vampire goth,
it's
all the same.
So all of them.
Listen,
Tribal goth,
if
new
you're goth, you're goth.
If you're goth, you're goth at
Yeah.
this point. But this is what we're talking about. And we're talking about how, since I am an elder goth and we have my baby bat here, we're talking
That is a baby
about,
bat noise.
Is that a baby bat noise?
Ah, Houston, we have no problems.
I approve that. E.
Just one more for you.
I can't. But we're talking about that because honestly, you know what? we're also going to talk about the decline
Yeah.
because the nest is located in New York City.
yes.
New York, Gotham, the Gotham Halo. It's changed a lot in the last I'm gonna be dating myself here, but I've been in the goth community and the goth scene for 22 years. 22 years that I've been in the gothic vampiric community. And you've been around 7.
Yeah, so the first like dedicated goth event I went to was Murder of Crows, and I was 21 years old.
What did he say?
So that was about like 5 or 6 years ago.
So you're still baby bat.
Yeah, exactly. Baby bat.
Yeah. So that means like you've never got to experience like the true epitome of what was goth. Because even I didn't get to experience that.
Yeah, no, because a lot of stuff that I've heard of, like the original Batcave. There was a place called like the Bank or the Vault. I could be getting
The
that
Bank.
name wrong. Yeah, the Bank. Like there's
And
a lot.
there was a vault too.
Yeah, no, like there's these places that I've heard of. There's actually a YouTuber. Can I plug her? Or
go ahead.
Angela Benedict, who was a goth in New York in the early 90s.
Oof.
Early 90s,
So
and
that means they got to see like the true heyday.
yeah, she got to see like the true heyday, and she actually would go. I haven't like watched a lot of her content recently. Like nothing against her. It's just been busy with life
Busy
and shit.
with the the gate. The gate takes a lot.
And but like she makes a lot of amazing content talking about her experiences in the goth scene back
Are they all
then.
on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Okay.
Angela Benedict is the name of her channel. And she just the way she described it and her experiences and like the old pictures that she would show, it's like, holy shit. I was born too late.
No, it's
But,
true.
No, it's just like really cool stuff. And also, what I also did like about her is she would also be like, hey, like she was one of those people that was like, listen, you don't need to subcategorize yourself as a type of goth. If you like the music, you're a goth. Here's some music that you can listen to and decide if you are a goth or not. Because she's one of those very old school, if you like the music, you're goth type of goths, if that makes sense. Because I know there's like some people, there's a lot of like little online infighting about certain things, which is like, it's stupid. Let's just all hang out at a club and enjoy the music. And, dress our best.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's true. And what a lot of people do not understand is that goth was a subculture of a subculture.
Yeah.
So like you had, I would say that a lot of it started in the 80s.
Right. And honestly, like, goth came from punk.
It did.
Yeah, like, oh no, listen, I did my research.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people, when they look at a little baby bat me, they don't realize I did do my research. And the way I got into goth, sorry, I'm like really tangenting here, is my mom showed me a new wave radio channel on Sirius XM radio.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit.
Like you went deep.
Exactly. And my mom was like, oh yeah, I used to listen to this like stuff like Depeche Mode and The Cure and the Smiths and stuff back in the day and Susie and the Banshees. And I'm like, Mom, this is the best thing you've ever fucking shown me in my life. Why did you wait to show me this music until I was 18?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, like I, really got into that, but then I started digging into, more like goth and where that came from and how it came from punk. And then there was post-punk and how certain bands, started out more punky, kind of went into that like more post-punk kind of sound, and then, shifted more into the goth scene. It was just really fucking cool.
Well, you also need to understand that, like, a lot of the, like, when we're dealing with the goth subculture, we were basically an offshoot of the punk subculture.
Exactly.
So when punk started getting really popular in, like, the early 80s, late 70s in New York, it still didn't really have its own places yet. Like, they were fighting for their own places, and they got them in places like CBGB.
Right.
And from there, the trend continued because goth and punk and all that subculture really emanated from the village.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like the village was where you went.
And there are still some places in the village that are like that.
Some,
I know it's not like the
No.
village has definitely become gentrified as fuck these days. But you could still see some, little
Emotional
some
damage.
specks of what once was, for sure. Like Trash and Vaudeville is still there. There's Search and Destroy is still there. Like places that people used to go back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Trash and Vaudeville is fun.
So Trash and Vaudeville still exists.
Yes, I've been there.
Yes. So Trash and Vaudeville still exists. There used to be a lot more places to go,
Yeah.
especially on St. Mark's.
Yep.
One of so again, remember, I am an elder goth, but I am not an ancient elder.
Yeah.
I've been around the scene for about 22 years,
Mhm.
but I also I didn't live in the scene the way that a lot of my friends from the community did, where they were like, it was eat, sleep, drink, bats, and goth, and everything. I had to live in the real world.
Yeah.
I had to live in my dayside life, which unfortunately meant that my nightside life had to be private.
Right.
And I could not be who I prefer to be. So,
Yeah.
like when I had to go to my 9 to 5 because I worked a city job, I couldn't dress the way that I would dress,
Yeah.
to go out and hang out with my friends.
Mhm.
I couldn't talk the way that I talk. I couldn't talk about the things that I wanted to
Right.
at my 9 to 5 because it was a city job. So
Yeah.
I had to look and act the part in a certain way. But the only thing that did mark me was obviously like my mannerisms, my tattoos, the way I wore my makeup, and my hair. Like I never ever gave up those aspects of myself. And I never hid those aspects of myself. And then as I got more comfortable in my job, more secure in that I couldn't be fired for my individuality, I started showing my goth ways a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like there were certain times where cause since I worked the night shift, I would go straight from my shift to a club.
Nice.
Like I would get ready in the locker room at work, full gothed out,
I love this for you.
and then I would fuck off,
Yeah.
to Batcave or to Otto's or to a Karma Lounge, wherever the party was at that point. Or I would go to one of the courts that would be happening. I would go straight from work.
Right.
And a lot of the times, because I couldn't do the elaborateness or bring the elaborateness with me, I would be dressed down compared to some of my friends.
Yeah.
And it always didn't make me feel inferior, but it would make me feel kind of left out.
Right. Because you didn't have the ability to
Yeah.
get all decked out the way that you wanted to.
No.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, like that's why I put so much pressure, and you've seen this, Scarlett,
Yeah.
when we go out now, and I'm taking you to
Right.
the places, because there are so many places that I wish I could have taken you to
Right.
that just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of places have closed down. Even recently with COVID, places have closed down. Like Pyramid Club, I think
Pyramid
closed,
Club's
and then
gone.
it moved, and then it reopened, then it closed again.
No.
Or that's a different one. I'm thinking.
Pyramid, you're not wrong. Pyramid itself is done. It's gone.
Yeah.
They did not survive COVID.
Yeah.
But the party, the
Okay.
people that ran the party, their 80s night and all that stuff, they moved.
Okay.
So they still are doing their stuff. I think the last place they were doing it was a place in Brooklyn called Drum, but I think that what do you call it? Residency
Okay.
ended recently. I'm not
Gotcha.
sure where they went after.
Because there's even a one that we had gone to December of 2023 that I think that bar shut down and it had been running for a while.
Are you talking about the Hard Swallow?
No, not that one. I'm trying to remember. It was because it was done by No Return Post Punk Society, and it was in Brooklyn, I think.
Oh, I don't know. A lot of those places, they come and they go because rent is so insane.
Yeah, but no, because I
It all
remember
started
seeing
when I was born.
I'd constantly been seeing Facebook advertisements and Facebook events for it, and I was like, oh, that's a cool thing, I should check it out, and then never got a chance to, and then finally we got a chance to, and it was their last night running because they were closing down.
Yeah. No, I do remember, but for the life of me, forgive me, I
I
cannot
just
remember.
don't
where we
remember the
went.
name. I don't remember the name of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no,
No, it sucks because it's when I was younger, when I was a lot younger, when I was still a baby bat myself, there were so many places that
Yeah.
I could go
Mhm.
and find my kind.
right.
So for me, I did get the tail end of a lot of the formative stuff. Now, in the goth community, there's also a ton of, like, I should back up here and go back a little bit, put the brakes on. But in the goth community, there's also a lot of subcultures amongst the goths.
Yes.
The vampiric community, the scene, as it is called, Gotham Halo, is the primary area where I was, am, and still really frequent this day.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that was the only things that were happening when I was younger. I did get the tail end of a lot of the stuff, which obviously was Mother, which was a huge party. The bank was, where people would go for that. I got to go to the Batcave. I got to go to the Hidden Shadows parties. I got to go to all these underground things that do not exist anymore.
These are all things I've like heard in passing, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I could have gotten to experience them.
No touchy.
You didn't.
I know, it's so sad.
I know. They're like, and especially now, like, I'm exposing you.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, you'll tell me, like, oh man, you would have loved, like, this thing back in the day. I'm like,
yeah, you would have. I'm telling you straight up, like, there was very, like, I had a fucking schedule. Like, you could clock me by my schedule on where I was going to be.
Yeah, because because everything had like its own night that it was running, right?
Damn.
Yes.
Yep, that makes sense.
And everybody knew everybody else, so everybody coordinated.
Yeah.
And it was very, very rare that things happened on the same night simply because everybody knew everybody else and they didn't try to do that. And if it was happening on the same night, most of the time, some of us would hit up one place for half the night and then go to the other for the other half of the night.
That makes sense.
But as we lost a lot of our spaces, I would say this is really after, I think, 2010.
Yeah.
When Element, which used to host the Batcave, finally closed its doors. I would say that's when things started to really decline in the community itself when it comes to having our spaces.
Yeah.
I remember that day because I went to the last one. I went to the last Batcave. And this is, now keep in mind, this isn't the original Batcave.
Right.
The original Batcave closed its doors in 1999.
Oh, fuck.
And that was one of the original places to go.
Yeah.
Element decided to pick up the flag and take over and pay homage to the Batcave by hosting Batcave nights.
Right.
Those nights, literally every week, that's where I was. It did not fucking matter. I was at that fucking party.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, I was always at Otto's. You would never find me anywhere else. Every Tuesday night, Dark Water, we were there. You know, fucking, where else would we be there? Then once a month, we would go to the Carmen Lounge for the different events that would be held there. Then there was also the Hidden Shadows parties that used to happen up in Harlem. Then there was the other goth parties that used to happen in the Pyramid Club.
Right.
In the basement. There were courts. There were, because we used to have...
Like, was DEF CON like an old one that's been running for a while?
DEF CON's been running for a hot minute, but it's also, see, the thing about DEF CON, it is vampiric adjacent.
Okay.
That is one of those parties that blends everything.
Right.
Where... Because a lot of it, you also got to keep in mind that a lot of stuff started happening when Vampire Freaks became a thing.
Yes. And I know, it's actually really funny. I know like 3 different people who worked for Vampire Freaks at 3 different times.
Yep.
And it's funny because like I've introduced them to each other and it's like, how did we not know each other?
Mood. No, it's just like social media did help us find each other more.
That makes sense.
Because remember back in like 2003, 2004, that's when everybody was allowed to finally go on Facebook publicly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's when like y'all could use
when you didn't need a college account to get on Facebook.
You needed a college account to get on Facebook?
Yes. Facebook originally. Okay, so we're going to go into this lore because it does actually directly tie into a lot of the goth shit.
Yeah, no, because keep
that
in mind,
I grew up with.
I was not on social media in 2003, 2004.
Well, no, why would you be?
I was on Barbie.com.
My spinach puffs.
I'll be right back.
Diva Girls was still a thing.
Always come back.
There was so much that existed back then on the internet that, is no longer.
My age. All right.
I love making Jade suffer.
No! Bitch.
But that.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
No, you're right. I don't.
May I speak now?
You may.
Okay. So keep in mind, up until about 2003, 2004, where you didn't need a college email account to get onto Facebook, because that was a thing, and most people don't remember that, but I do.
Insane.
Because in high school, I did not have a Facebook. I had a MySpace.
I know that MySpace was a thing.
MySpace was the thing. That was how everybody kept in touch. That was how MySpace was where it was. That's also how I made a lot of my friends. That's how I found a lot of the goth kids back in the day, is because you could join different groups and Facebook, MySpace stuff. And, because it wasn't like Facebook is now.
Yeah.
But it was a lot easier to find your community.
You could also have like top 8s and cause like drama.
Yeah.
Sorry, I also got booped by a cat.
It's okay. Eclipse has decided that he wants to be part of this. And he should, because he is the Void Kitty.
He is amazing. I
He's
love
the
him.
goth boy. But
Spooky.
so we had MySpace, we had Zynga, LiveJournal
Oh god.
back then. Like, that's how we stayed in touch, because also keep in mind, cell phones were not what they are now.
Oh yeah, no, you had to like if you
had-
could even text, you'd have to press like the same button 4 times
And
just to get it.
If you had the ability to do texting, because you had limits.
Exactly.
Like, all right, I'm going to date myself here. How many people listening to the show right now remembers, oh, hey, call me back after 9 p.m.?
Oh my god, I actually do vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
I remember my first cell phone. I had a text limit of 30 messages a month.
Yeah, that was a thing. Like, texting was not the way that it is now. You had to be very careful. And if you went over that limit, it was like 5 cents a message.
Yeah.
And that was drama.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, no.
But then they started changing the phones, and that's why Nextel became a thing.
Wild.
Yeah, because
Wild.
Nextel was the on the side, it was a fucking walkie-talkie. It was literally a cell phone that was a walkie-talkie, where we didn't have to rely on distance or anything like that. We relied on the cell phone network. And what you would do is you would push the button on the side of the phone, and it would go, and you would talk into it and be like, yo, where you at? And that's how you would keep in touch.
That's insane.
Yeah. Nextel was a thing.
That's as crazy as like beepers.
I had a beeper.
Okay, you want to laugh?
Yeah.
I was watching a movie. It was actually It was the movie Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, which that movie is ass. Okay, that movie's ass. But there is a scene where Wesker pulls out a beeper, and I turned to my husband, who we weren't married yet at that point. I turned to him and I'm like, "What the fuck did he just pull out?" And he's like, "That's a beeper." And me, fully knowing what a beeper is, just has never seen one before, but wanting to just, keep up the bit. I look him dead in the face and I'm like, "Babe, what the fuck is a beeper?"
Pull the lever.
Can't.
So
The window.
I
Just gonna throw you.
The window.
I deserve
Oh
it.
my god.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Newsflash, people. Y'all don't know when I'm actually committing to the bit and when I'm not, and it's more funny that way.
It is true.
Yeah.
It is true. But just always assume that it is an actual bit. At
Don't.
least that's what I do. I just assume that it's a bit, because I can tell, because you get this evil glint in your eye and you think I can't tell, but I can.
Oh, I know you can tell.
I'm literally just sitting there going,
That's rough, buddy.
like, I'll play along with you, but
The audacity! The unmitigated gall!
can't. I play along with it only because I know it brings her joy. But for the most part, I'm like, you're not that stupid. Stop it. But these are the things that we had.
them to think I'm stupid.
I know.
Because then they do things for me.
I know. It's fine. We get it.
But I also find joy from their suffering.
Take that, depression!
Exactly. Exactly. It feels my fucking, it
Right. But also keep in mind that a lot of the stuff that to bring us back to topic, because
Yes.
stop this shit. You're going to make me upset and depressed again.
Okay, sorry.
Burn it down!
All right. But also keep in mind that I was a club kid.
Yes,
And
that is true.
I had been a club kid since I was 13. I was sneaking into shit that I shouldn't have been in, but I was.
If it makes you feel better, so was Angela Benedict on YouTube.
I know, but Angela Benedict's also a lot older than me.
But she was sneaking in the shit at the same age as you.
Yeah. So she just got to do it in the heyday. I got to do it towards the end.
Yeah.
So anybody that's ever seen them,
Do you want to know what her trick was? She would get an ID, a fake ID that
from
said,
St. Mark's, that
And-
was
no,
from
but-
Connecticut.
and she would say that, and she would have her ID say that she was like 19 or 20.
Yeah, we never said 21.
Yeah.
My ID, when I went to these clubs, never, ever, ever said 21. They always said 18.
Yeah.
Because I looked, even at 13 years old, I looked 18.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause-
apparently I hit 21 and I haven't aged since.
Yeah, that's true. I think I've said this before, but literally I like Jade had shared a picture from like 11
14
years ago.
14 years ago.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, how come everyone else in this picture has aged except for you?
No, that wasn't the first thing you said to me. You were like, oh, when did you go out? I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, that picture you just posted. Baby, that picture's 14 years old. What? Yeah, that picture's 14 years old. She goes, how do you look exactly the same? I'm like,
Because you looked exactly the fucking same.
still do.
Yep.
The only way to tell
Is your hair.
is my hair. And even then, because my hair does go through cycles, you can never be sure.
Yeah, no, because that's the other thing, because your hair was exactly the same color too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, holy shit.
That's what makes it fun.
Yes.
That's what makes
That's
it fun.
That was funny. Oh my god. The other podcast kitty is approaching
Oh, he's just chilling. He's just chilling.
for now.
This is true.
He's a menace.
He is a menace.
I'm at half-mast. I need to hear this.
It's true. So, because I was a club kid and I was sneaking into clubs starting from like age 12, 13, I learned what St. Mark's was very, very early because we all knew there were certain spots on St. Mark's back in the day.
Yes.
Because the real ID wasn't a thing yet. And we also learned how to chalk our IDs
Yeah.
very early because you could still do that back then.
Okay.
So, chalking an ID, because I can see the confusion in your face.
Yeah.
So, our IDs weren't laminated. They weren't plastic back then. They were like a softer material.
Okay.
So you could literally take colored pencils and change the numbers on your ID,
Oh shit.
which is what I did. I changed my 5 to a 3. So, or you go from there. It's not a foolproof system because if you do it the wrong way or you push too hard, obviously a doorman's gonna tell. They're gonna know.
Right.
But if you change it just enough,
Mhm.
they're not gonna give you any shit.
Interesting.
And it
worked.
it did.
Nice.
It worked for me because 90% of the time also they didn't care.
Yeah.
And then when that stopped working for me, that's when I went to the spaces that they used to have in St. Mark's and I would get the fake ID.
Yeah.
And it would always be from like New Jersey or Connecticut, which not implausible.
Right.
Never made myself super old. It had my actual photo because they took your photo
Mhm.
and it had the stickers that would go on top of it that made it look real.
Okay.
They had these old IDs back then had these holographic stickers on them
Right.
that would say the states, that had the state like seal or the crest on it,
Yeah.
whatever. And that's how I had a Connecticut ID that said that I was 19.
Okay.
That ID worked for me until I was 16.
Mhm.
And then I guess a bouncer who was in a bad mood one day figured out that it was fake. Like
Yeah.
we're talking an ID that worked for almost 4 years straight.
Damn.
I guess he was in a bad mood or things had changed and I wasn't paying attention to what IDs looked like anymore, but I ended up losing that ID to a bouncer. I still got into the club. He was like, "I'm still going to let you in. But this stays with me."
Okay.
And I'm like, "Okay." I still got to party. So
Hey, there you
I
go.
mean, fuck it,
Because
right?
that was also another thing too, right? Like back in the day, it used to be like
You
18 to
done
party, 21 to drink.
Yes,
'Cause,
that was because it was still a thing. You could, 'cause
Yeah.
they weren't really policing as crazy.
Yeah, no, because by the time I came around, like into like
21 and over.
it was everything was 21 and over.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like,
That's our fault. You're welcome.
Yeah. No, but like that's why I was like so excited.
your
I'm like,
life,
all
bing
right,
bong.
I'm 18. I can like try to find places, and then everything was 21
Nope.
plus, and I'm like, fuck. So that's why like I was so excited when I finally got to go to Murder of Crows that first time.
Nah.
Yeah.
The 18 to party, 21 to drink didn't work when they realized that the 21-year-olds were buying 18-year-olds drinks.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So,
Sense.
yeah. I mean, we're talking about, like, because remember, everybody thinks that Manhattan was where it was at. Brooklyn had some places, too.
No, I believe it.
It wasn't what it is now,
Yeah.
where Brooklyn did not have its renaissance yet back then.
You know, because Brooklyn is like bumping these days.
Now it is, but
Yeah.
there's still very few places that goths can go.
Yeah.
But
We're getting more though.
trying to.
Yeah.
I'm noticing that it's a lot easier to get a party booked in Brooklyn than it is to get it booked in Manhattan.
yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Mhm.
So, like, back then there was L'Amour's, which does not exist anymore. There was, oh my God, there was like a couple of other underground places. There was a few places here in Queens, but nobody really frequented those. But the most places that you would go to if you weren't going to a house party
Right.
was in Manhattan. And
Yeah.
it was around the Village.
Yeah.
Lower East Side.
Yes.
That's where we all stayed. The only time we ever ventured out of the Lower East Side or away from St. Mark's or away from the Cube or away from that area was when we were going to the Hidden Shadows parties up in an old karate dojo that was run by Hidden Shadows. When they lost the dojo, we stopped going to Harlem.
Okay.
And we stayed basically in the Lower East Side, unless you were doing a house
feel like-
party.
Hidden Shadows sounded cool already, but with the context that it was a dojo, that sounds like infinitely cooler.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Hidden Shadows is like one of the epitome of what the vampiric goth subculture was.
Holy shit.
To this day, people wish for Hidden Shadows parties or that style.
Yeah.
And the playlists of Hidden Shadows, believe it or not, still top tier.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Because like that was
It cannot be beaten.
Yeah, no, because like that was definitely like something that
I'm also biased.
well we both have our own biases when it comes to the music at goth events, but like
No. I mean, I'm biased when it comes to that party.
fair enough.
Because the music across, believe it or not, when I was going pretty hardcore, is the same.
Yeah.
It's even the same depending on the DJ that you get at the certain parties. It's even the same now.
Yeah.
Doesn't really change.
Well, I know the last one we went to,
Summon?
like the music, I was just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, because
Like-
you get a good DJ that's been around and you're going to get that vibe.
Right.
That's the problem is a lot of these new DJs that come onto the scene. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying that they whatever, but they weren't around, so they don't know.
Yeah, but also like some of these DJs, they're not playing goth.
You done
They're not
goofed.
playing, like
No, they're playing industrial.
yeah.
They'll play industrial, which is whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, no, but then you also get some people who play like TikTok remixes, or they'll play like, pop music, or they'll play fucking emo.
Yeah.
Which is like, listen, I do like emo. Don't get me wrong.
But if you want to go to an emo night, you'll go to an emo night.
exactly.
You can find those.
if I want to listen to emo, I'll just hang out at my fucking house with my husband.
There you go.
I married an emo boy.
And I'm so sorry. I'm not though. At all.
Literally how I feel.
Like there are times where like I bring Scarlett to some of the goth parties. I'll bring them to I brought you to a lot of the vampiric parties that are thrown by
Yeah.
my friends. And it is reminiscent because all of the people that throw the party were around
yeah.
during the heyday. We were all very, very young though.
Mhm.
And we've been expected to carry on the torch.
Right.
Problem is, it is still, no matter how much we've tried, it is very hard for us to still catch that ambiance that we used to have.
Right.
And that's the problem, is the ambiance is gone. The theatrics is gone. There was a certain mystery and je ne sais quoi. There was a
Well-
certain magic going to a
Well, I
lot of
think
these places.
Some of that like mystery is kind of gone with the advent of social media.
Yeah.
Cause like goth is like,
It's a subculture that has become popular.
exactly, and it's become trendy, and it's like it's become trendy, and it's like it's all over TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and it's like people who don't really get it and I'm not trying to sound gatekeepy or anything, but I'm kind of towing
You're
that
not
line
sounding
a little.
gatekeepy.
You know, it's
You
like
what?
I just kind of, like again, like I got into goth because I loved the music.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, with any music-based subculture, you go into it because you love the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like yes, dressing the part, looking the part, that is, fun. But, not everyone has the luxury of being, as Jade said, not everyone has the luxury of being able to, like, dress like a goth at their dayside job.
Yeah.
I am very fortunate where I have worked jobs where I am able to, like, inject a little bit of
Your
my
personal style.
my personal style. Like, at my office jobs, I'm able to wear all black. When I do feel like wearing makeup, because most of the time I'm too fucking lazy for it in the morning, my makeup will be a little darker, a little heavier. Usually, will, if nothing else, wear a dark lipstick. I'll have my, like crow skull jewelry and stuff on me.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate that no one where I work says anything about it, because they're like, listen, you're still dressed office professional, but a little spooky. We don't care. Not everyone has that luxury. But so that's why a lot of goths are like, listen.
Well, they did it. That's why we created the corporate goth.
That's
look.
also true. But even still, some places like have very strict dress codes.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
even,
I
like-
wore a uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
So but like some places like because in my in my handbook, the dress code is nothing outside of conventional dress, and I'm like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what? Like, it's such a weird, like, vague way of saying it. So like, would I not be able to do like a full corp goth thing? So I kind of like,
You do what you can.
exactly, I do what I can.
Right.
But there's other people where it's like they have very strict rules as to what they can or cannot wear.
And that
So-
sucks.
Yeah.
Like, listen, because, like, also, like, a lot of us in the community try to find jobs that, like, fit our personalities, that fit our way that we are. And some of us are very lucky that we did, and some of
Yeah.
us, unfortunately, are not. So we have to play a different role.
Yeah, but like to kind of circle back to what I was saying though, it's like that's why a lot of people are like, yeah, listen, like the fashion, the makeup, the look, that's part of it, but the most important part of what makes you a goth is, do you like the music?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is something that kind of gets lost with a lot of the like social media aspect of it.
Well, yeah. Also, like, do you like? It's not just the music; it's also the way of the goth. It's the way
Yeah.
of life. Do you think a certain type of way that would put you in into the goth mindset?
Yeah.
Like, do you, and that's like kind of also annoys me, because again, that's like where people do get very gatekeepy,
Right.
because I don't think like a goth. I mean, I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
And that's only because it's just my personality
Right.
doesn't really mesh up with what are considered the goth ideals.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
fair. Yeah.
So, yes, I am a goth.
Mhm.
I will not hear any arguments about my gothness. I'm just, no.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit around and sit there and be like, you can be gothic and like rainbows. I like fucking rainbows.
Absolutely.
Like fucking, back in the day, your gothness was like a dick measuring contest.
Yeah, no. Like,
If you didn't have certain items, you weren't goth enough. You weren't vampiric enough. You weren't this. You weren't that. Like, and that's what used to annoy the shit out of me back in the day.
That's
It
where,
annoys the shit out of me now.
Yeah, like that's where the gatekeepiness gets fucking annoying. It's like, I'm sorry, you don't need to own like every fucking Killstar item in your wardrobe, which I know Killstar is like not the best brand. I'm just throwing that one out. I'm just throwing it out there as an example of like a well-known goth clothing
Now,
brand.
this Killstar is an example of a brand that decided this is something I can make money off of.
Exactly.
And then that's what they created.
Exactly.
Like, and they basically play off of the fact that back in the day it was impossible to find goth clothing.
Yeah.
Like, and any goth clothing because Amazon did not exist.
Right.
Amazon was not a thing
Yeah.
when I was coming up.
Mhm.
So you had to go to secondhand stores.
Yep.
You had to go to Trash and Vaude.
Yeah.
You had to go to the other places that you knew would have it,
Mhm.
like Gothic Renaissance.
Yeah. Are they still a thing or did they close?
Yeah, they're still a thing.
Fuck yeah.
They're still there. I don't know what's been going on with them. I know they got broken into over the summer.
Oh shit.
yeah.
Yeah, no, because I heard that like Gothic Renaissance and then like the Halloween Adventure was closing and then they
I don't even
weren't. I don't
know.
know what's going on. But I did know like secondhand stores, like thrift stores, was a big one.
Big.
That was a big one. I still like honestly, that's my biggest like source for clothing.
Yeah, because a lot of stuff is like back in the day you couldn't get unless you ordered it from certain. That's why Vampire Freaks became as big as they did.
Yeah,
Because not only did now we have a spot where we could congregate, we also had like a social media platform.
yeah,
We also had the ability now to trade secrets on where to find
right.
clothing, on where to find items, on where to get certain things that we did not have access to before unless we knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody,
Yeah,
which made it easier.
Mhm.
Didn't make it less expensive,
yeah,
but it made it easier to find certain services and things that we would need to create who we felt we are inside.
yeah.
To accentuate our persona, if you want to call
Yeah,
it
no,
that.
that makes sense.
And also, Vampire Freaks started hosting parties
yeah,
back in the day.
I know they still host parties.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd run Dark Force Fest.
Yeah.
Which I still want to go to.
I thought it'd be a fun one to check
That would be
out.
a fun one to check out. I've been trying to get in as a vendor from them for a while, but I never heard back. So can you please let me know? Thank you.
Hey, Vampire Freaks, hit up your girls. Like your things by.
Like, hello, I remember when you didn't exist. Fucking talk to me. Anyways, but that was one of the big things, and I remember it so clearly hearing when Vampire Freaks really started to take off. I think this was like 2007 or 8. I could be wrong. I remember all of the goths that came up in like the Village and LES and the Cube and Halloween Adventure and all those goths that used to have to physically go and hang out to find out where to go was like, ew. Do you hear about this fucking website? Blah, 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 blah. Like, and they were just we were so, it was like new things,
Right.
kind of a thing. But it was also, we found, like, when one of us finally did get on it, you know, because, like, Vampire Freaks wasn't the only one. It was Fet Life, too.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, really? Fat Life.
Fat
I thought
Life.
that was more of like a fetish.
it is, but you also need
But
to
also the goth and the fetish scenes.
hand
Hand in
in
hand.
hand.
Okay, I actually have a really funny story about that. If you don't mind me tangenting.
Gimme.
Okay. So I had to. So this is when I
all
had
started
to
when I
pretend
was
in front of
born.
my whole family that I didn't know what OnlyFans was back in 2020. So
Oh, no.
so my mom was talking about how
wasn't
some
ready.
girl on
She
this
wasn't
website called
ready.
Fans Only was making 6 figures
Stop.
by getting on all fours and dressing like a dog. And me, who had been working at Target at the time, running on no sleep, I just blurt out, "Oh, Mom, I think that's a fetish thing." And I just feel everyone freeze and just stare me down. And I was like, oh, fuck, how do I explain this? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, the goth and the fetish scene go hand in hand. You know, it's just, you know,
Bella, where the hell have
you
you been?
see it in
Let's go.
the goth clubs and stuff that I go to.
It's true.
And they were like, okay, that makes sense. And we moved on. But holy fuck, I had to like sit there and be like, shit, how do I not out myself as an OnlyFans girl and kinky as fuck in front of my entire family and this entire Italian restaurant on my mother's birthday?
I don't know.
But no, it's actually a thing. Fet Life and Vampire Freaks would go
Yeah.
hand in hand. Because remember, a lot of goths, a lot of freaks.
Yes.
That's what we do.
Yep.
So you know, that was one of the ways that everybody would find one another.
Okay.
And that's how we spread the word about some things. But
Mm-hmm.
also back in the day for us was a big thing was the flyer was still a big thing for parties.
Yeah, to hand out physical
To
flyers.
hand
and
out
also,
physical
wouldn't you get like a
flyers.
discounted price at the door if you had
Brought the
handed a
flyer.
Yep.
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 I used to actually collect my flyers and
Oh, cool.
put them on my wall. Like I would staple them because I used to live in when I lived in my parents' basement, they had the wood paneling walls.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So I would staple the fucking different postcards and flyers and all sorts of shit that I would have. And I still, to this day, have them.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty I gotta dig them out, but I'm pretty sure I have almost all of them still.
Fucking awesome.
So there's probably flyers dating back from like 2006 or even earlier that
Oh,
I could
shit.
show you
Okay, that actually sounds amazing.
Mhm.
Like, I want to see this.
from these goth parties.
I
yeah.
want to see this.
From these goth parties and clubs that I used to go to. Yeah.
I must see this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It was also one of the things where, like, if you went to a goth party, if you went to a club,
Yeah.
you would bring your flyers with you, and that's how you would find the next one.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. So, like, it was a big. The community was a lot more
Right.
back then, because
Yeah.
like,
Well, it sounds like there's just a lot more community in general.
yes,
Like,
there was.
Yeah.
There was. I do miss it a lot.
Mhm.
Because it's not like I was saying earlier, bringing you to the parties that I bring you to, and the gatherings and, you know, the different places. I sometimes try to see it through your eyes as best as I can
like,
because you're new.
right. And,
But
like,
at the same time, it clouds because I recognize what it was.
yeah, like, one thing I will say, and it's like, and it's not, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, because I feel like this is not just, like, a scene thing.
It's all the scenes.
Exactly. It's all of the scenes and just kind of like a societal thing in general. People are a lot more closed off. Like, you don't have that sense of community anymore.
You
like,
do in some spaces.
in some spaces, but also, like, everyone tends to kind of, like, stick to themselves or, like, stick to their own group.
Well, I mean, like, you had it at MAG.
Well, you know, Mag was a little, you know, like, different. There was a little more, you know, like,
Yeah. The community's there, though.
like, there's definitely more community at Mag.
Yeah.
But I think also New York is just, like,
Yeah, New York has gone to shit.
yeah.
I'm going to call a spade here.
New Yorkers have trust issues, man.
Can you blame us?
No.
There you go. But, like, no. See, because, like, here's the other thing that I also know from a logistics standpoint when it
Yeah.
comes to our parties, unfortunately. We did get removed from a lot of our spaces because, let's call a spade, especially in the vampiric goth community, everybody's broke.
Gotcha.
So a lot of places they were losing money on our parties
Gotcha.
because, you know, goths just don't have it to spend.
yeah.
Or at least they didn't back then.
Right.
You know, so like a lot of places were not making their bar back guarantee. A lot of places were losing money, and like, you know, it just also the way certain people acted
Yeah.
got us kicked out of spaces, and a lot of places don't want to invite us back now because they're just like, why?
No, that makes sense.
You know, like you're
unfortunately, that
a
does make
risk
sense.
that we're not willing to take,
Yeah.
and that sucks. And I do know that because I do speak to people that still try to throw these gatherings.
Yeah.
And they say that's the problem that they run into 90% of the time is that nobody wants to take a chance on a goth night
Right.
because they're afraid that the money's not there. But yet, the one thing that I have noticed that is being proven untrue about this is Summon.
yeah. No, Summon is huge.
Not just that, Summon actually, believe it or not, reminds me of how things used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, it literally gives me a Batcave vibe. It gives me a bank vibe. It gives me Mother vibes. It gives me old school autos vibes. It
Yeah.
gives me all those old vibes,
Right.
if not the same people. Because there are occasionally I'll see some people that I know from back in the day, and you know, whatever, we all go there, and it is a lot of fun.
yeah.
But what I love about Summon is that there's also a lot of just normal goths.
Yeah.
Not just vampiric goths, not
Right.
just, you know, the ones that I'm used to. It's more of a community base, and I love that.
Yeah.
It's one of the few places that I actually see more than what I would see if I went to one of my normal places,
Right.
which is really, really
I
refreshing.
know. And Summon was pretty packed.
It was pretty good.
Like, it was pretty packed. It was really good. I like the setup.
Yeah.
Like, Summon was, like, I would totally go back to Summon.
We
Like,
are.
it was- oh, hell yeah.
We were going to go back.
Fuck yeah.
Pretty sure it happens next week. Next Friday,
Valentine's Day? No.
7th.
Oh, fuck. Never mind. Sorry. My brain's already
No,
jumping ahead.
it's usually the first, I believe it's the first Friday of the month every month.
Okay, yeah. Fuck yeah, then.
So I'm
I was
gonna,
like, as long as it's not Valentine's Day.
no, I believe it's the 7th.
Okay, we can do that.
I gotta double check because I'm supposed to go to Connecticut on the 8th.
Okay.
So I gotta double check because I have a big gathering with my pirate crew from the
Ooh,
Renaissance
I remember you
Fair.
talking about that.
Yeah, on the 8th for our charity ball,
Yes.
which is, I'm gonna do a quick plug here. It's called the Salty Ball.
Mhm.
And we raise money for cancer, testicular cancer in particular, but cancer. And that's what we do at these, and it's an annual thing. And that it'll be the first time I'm going because the last couple of years since I joined the crew, every time they have it, I either do not know about it or I'm already pre-booked to do something else with the group, with either the podcast or I'm at a convention, something like that.
Yeah.
This is the first year that my captain turned around and was like, "Listen, do you want it? Like, are you coming this year? Because you should." And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
And I basically like gave them yes, and I blocked that off for them. So this is the first time I'm dedicating it to them, and I'm actually pretty proud of it.
Fuck yeah.
Proud of myself.
You're gonna have a fucking blast.
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
I hope so. I just, going around a bunch of people that I've never met before because
It's gonna be okay.
I've only ever met my captain.
Aw.
I know. I'm not, and also like I'm the worst at social media right now because like I'm so rarely online.
Honestly, I feel that.
That like and also like I'm weird. I've gotten weird in my old age where it's like I don't talk to people, period. I barely talk to my friends.
Honestly, though, like I'm the same. I don't like to talk to people. I don't.
It's called a hustle,
Half the
sweetheart.
times when I'm talking to people, I'm just like, hey, here's pictures of my cats.
Yeah, you do though. It's fucking hysterical. I love it because people are just like, "Oh, Kitty," but I want to talk to you. But Kitty.
I'll just be
But
like,
what about Kitty?
I'll be like, hey, look at this cat's stupid fucking face.
He's so stupid.
Okay, sorry, just shameless plug for my orange cat. His name is Ravioli, and there are no thoughts behind his stupid eyes. Like, just he has Puss in Boots eyes, except unlike Puss in Boots, who has a brain, Ravi has none.
The brain cell is not with Ravi.
Sometimes it's with him, but that's only when it's not with me.
Can't with you. But back on track anyway.
Yes.
Summon does harken back to these times. I'm sure there are other parties that I have not frequented yet.
I would love to frequent more parties.
Honestly, like other gatherings that like honestly I just haven't sat down and made the time to go to
Yeah.
because like our schedules are nuts.
I know.
And a lot of the times these parties or these gatherings or these club nights happen when we're already dedicated to something else
Yeah.
or when we're broke.
Yeah.
So like that is a thing.
That is very much a thing.
That is a
It's
thing.
okay, though. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why like I want to keep exposing our Scarlett, giggity, to these experiences that I managed to get in my teens, 20s, 30s.
Right.
I want you to be able to experience what I got to experience, but unfortunately, I don't think
I mean, a lot of it just sounds like it doesn't exist anymore.
because it does not.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks the most. And like if I had the money, I would open up a bar or a club and I would make it just the way that things used to be back in the day.
No.
Or I would try my best
Yeah.
to do that or capture that ambiance, capture that energy. And some places do it. I mean, Summon
like-
does it.
And there is also just like other places that are, like catered to
our kind.
our kind. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like there's, Flying Fox.
Flying Fox. Yep.
Definitely caters to us.
Definitely
and then,
caters to us.
And then out on Long Island, it's not a bar, but it's a store. Strange Lift Parlor. I've been
Big
there.
shout out to them.
Big shout out to them. They do like spooky movie nights. They do like witchcraft nights. They do all sorts of really fun stuff.
I know that they were trying to do a big goth thing out on the island, and I think in like Smithtown.
I think they were part of like a goth. Oh no, I know there was like a goth like thing they were doing in
Like,
Smithtown.
wasn't that Frankenberg's thing?
I have no
I
idea.
think it was Rob Frankenberg's thing.
Maybe I don't know.
I think it's associated with Chambers of Hell.
I'm genuinely not sure.
I don't know, but I do know that they were trying out to get to the Long Island goths.
Yeah, because I know every now and then I'll see something pop up on Long Island, but I'm never
It's also always in Suffolk.
Yeah, like I know Amityville sometimes something pops up. There's
Yeah.
also there's also is like a goth night in Suffolk. It used to be called Cafe Goth. Now they changed it to like Gotham is the name of it. I've never been. It's like literally right by where where I grew up, like by my parents' house, and I'm like, I kind of just don't want to go all the way out there.
Yeah, but I mean, for the ones that are out there that can't or don't feel like coming into the city.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. It's like it's the kind of thing like, hey, listen, you know what? Like for everyone out east on Long Island, I genuinely love that you guys have these options.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I mean, and we were talking about it earlier in the show. It's going back to the days where nobody knows where to go.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where to go. Nobody knows what to do. And then they're like, because listen, if you guys want to go to a true goth club, QXT's, but that's in Jersey.
Fuck.
Don't get me wrong. QXT's is a great fucking time.
Yeah.
And it's one of the, I would say, one of the last true goth bash, like, clubs that
Yeah.
exist. But
I mean, fuck it. I would go.
I'd take you.
Yeah.
But, again, it's Jersey, and not everybody wants to go to New Jersey.
Fair.
You know?
I mean, I barely want to go to Jersey. I will go to Jersey just to make fun of Jersey.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I'm allowed to.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been to QXT's quite a few times. They always get, like, really good bands to play there. It's always a great fucking night. It's a good place to go if you're in that area.
That's fair.
You know, so like if
That's
you
fair.
are listening to us and you happen to be in Jersey, or you know you have the ability to go to Jersey, go to QXT's.
Mhm.
QXT's has got a great goth party. There's a couple of goth events that I know that are coming up in February. I know Summon is coming up. They're doing their monthly thing. There's a couple of other places. I know Lupercalia is coming up.
Yeah. Summon also has food.
Summon also does have food. Yes,
I'm sorry.
Summon has food.
That's just like a super random like side note, but Summon does also have food, and that is very important.
Yes, because while drinking, you would like a snacky. There you go.
Yes.
The only thing I gotta warn you about Summon is there is no fucking parking.
Yeah.
There is no fucking parking, and any parking that you do find, you could get towed. Because it happened to me. All right, so fuck you, towing company.
I wasn't
Piece
there
of
for this
shit.
one, but I remember the text messages.
Oh my god, they were unhinged.
They were unhinged.
They were unhinged
They were
because
unhinged.
also who I was with.
Yeah, and then
Ugh.
but then also you and me were hanging out the next day.
I was so tired.
You were
I was up until like fucking 6 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, trying to get your fucking car back, and
Trying to break into the fucking lot that they had it at.
I remember this. I think I
so
remember
bad.
seeing those text
was
messages,
so
like
bad.
waking up, and I'm like, what the
fuck?
And then being like, girl, you good?
No. I was not.
And then I think I remember you had a Monster and a Dunkin' iced coffee. It was that kind of day.
It was that kind of night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And that spawned the picture of me with like an iced coffee and a Monster, and being like, if you know, you know.
Oh, because we went to the powwow.
Yes.
Fuck. It was a bad night. It was a bad night.
It's okay.
But it's fine. But I'm just
It's
saying.
all
like,
over now.
Yeah. Fuck. Ugh. All I'm saying is, as an elder goth, I really do want to give, or as best as I am able, give my knowledge and my experiences and share them with a baby bat like Scarlett. And I'm a lot of elder goths have either hung up their cloaks or hung up their fangs, you know, because they've lost their spaces or they had kids and
Yeah.
they have nowhere really to, they don't really know what the scene is anymore, where to go. And I'm hoping that maybe anybody listening can also educate me, an
Yeah.
elder goth, on where I could go and bring my baby bat to have a good time and just be amongst our people and enjoy the ambiance and music. That's not going to also cost me an arm and a fucking leg.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Big one.
Big one.
Because we're all poor.
Yeah. But also, like, I want to go to fun goth places and have a good reason to look hot as fuck and not just be the most unhinged hot goth bitch in the grocery store.
Yeah, like I need a reason to wear my regalia. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fishnets and the platforms should go on for a reason, and I should wear my pretty demonias.
Yeah, pretty much. But on that note, any closing thoughts, my Scarlett? Okay, is that a no or you're just unhinged? That's a no. All right.
No, that's an unhinged baby bat.
I'm so done with you tonight. Grounded.
I'm
Actually,
a bat.
she's-
I fly.
You're okay, fine. You can be grounded upside down. What the fuck you want from me?
Okay, but the upside down bats with the goth music.
Still look like they're at a club.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
On that note, seriously, guys, follow us on all social media. We're on every single listening platform. Leave a comment on our Spotify. let us know, like, hey, do you know of any cool spots and gatherings that we don't, or hey, do you want to join the Phoenix Gate at one of these parties and party with us? Let us know. Interact, share our show, and we'll catch you next time. Bye. Oh my God. Stop it.